Did you connect?
5 p.m.
Oh, that one. I can't
Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of the Pinetop-Lakeside Town Council to order. Welcome. We do have a quorum. I would ask that you make sure your cell phone is on silent so we don't have any interruptions today. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please.
Our Father in heaven, we humbly come before Thee as we begin this council meeting for the town of Pinetop-Lakeside. We're grateful for the opportunity to meet in a free country and to be able to conduct the business of our citizens and of the people that live here. We're thankful, Father, for the members of our council and for all that they do in serving within our community. We pray that Thou bless them and guide them tonight in the decisions that they will discuss and make this evening. We're also asked Thee to bear up the family of Jenny Handorf. She is fondly and lovingly remembered for the great service that she has done here within our community over the years. We pray that Thou bless her family, that they may feel Thy peace and comfort at this time. We're thankful for the moisture that we have received and that it has relieved much of the drought conditions in our forests. We pray that Thou bless us accordingly and continue to protect our community. We pray for blessings upon all of our emergency responders and ask Thee to bless and protect them as they serve and protect our community. We say these things humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Keith. Item B on our agenda tonight is call to the public. This is a business meeting of the Town Council. We value and welcome public input. Please address the council as a whole and not individual council members. Do not address staff or members of the audience. Council action on items brought up and called to the public is limited by the open meeting law. Council may direct staff to study the matter and reschedule for further consideration at a later date. Items on the agenda are not heard during call to the public, and individuals are limited to 3 minutes. I have no requests to speak and call to the public. Christy, you have nothing, right? Okay, thank you. We'll move on then to item C, which is our consent agenda. All items listed are considered routine matters and will be enacted by one motion of the council. There will be no separate discussion unless a member of town council requests that an item or items be removed for discussion. Council members may ask questions without removal of the item. Items removed are considered in their normal sequence unless called out of sequence. And tonight we have 2 items on our consent agenda. Are there any questions from the council? Questions, comments? Vice Mayor?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I second that motion.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Thank you. That carries unanimously. Move on then to item D, which is business before the council. Public comment will be taken at the beginning of each agenda item after the subject has been announced by the mayor and explained by staff. Any citizen who wishes may speak one time for 5 minutes on each agenda item, either before or after council discussion. Questions from council members, however, may be directed to staff or a member of the public through the mayor at any time. Item D1 is our proclamation of National Library Week 2024. I've asked Councillor Phillips to read this one, please.
Whereas in 1930, the Lakeside Public Library was founded. In 1985, the library became the department of the town. The library is housed in the Larson Memorial Building, named after the founder, Wallace H. Larson. And whereas the Pinetop-Lakeside Public Library currently has 22,356 patrons and has several programs that include a variety of interests for all ages. And whereas libraries provide the opportunity for everyone to pursue their passions and engage in lifelong learning. And whereas libraries strive to develop and maintain programs and collections that are as diverse as the populations they serve and ensure equity of access for all. And whereas libraries adapt to the ever-changing needs of their communities, continually expanding their collections, services, and partnerships. And whereas libraries are treasured institutions that preserve our collective heritage and knowledge, safeguarding both physical and digital resources for present and future generations. And now, therefore, Stephanie Irwin, Mayor of the town of Pinetop-Lakeside, hereby proclaims April 7th through the 13th, 2024 as National Library Week in the town of Pinetop-Lakeside. During this week, the mayor encourages all residents to visit the library to explore the wealth of resources available. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the town of Pinetop-Lakeside, Arizona, down at Town Hall this 4th day of April 2024.
Thank you, Councilor Phillips, and I'd just like to thank our Library Director, Betsy Peck, for being here tonight, and we will give you a copy of the proclamation. I do appreciate everything you do at our library. I think it's really grown into quite a community asset. It always has been, but I think you've taken it another step. So thank you, Betsy. We'll move on then to item D2, which is a proclamation of Week of the Young Child 2024. Councilor Krigbaum.
Thank you, Mayor Irwin. I would like to dedicate this reading, at least, to my husband, because he really misses being in the kindergarten, and he loves that so much. This proclamation is the Town of Pinetop-Lakeside, Office of Mayor Stephanie Irwin. The Week of the Young Child, April 6th through 12th of 2024. Whereas, the First Things First Navajo Apache Regional Partnership Council and its local partner organizations, in conjunction with the National Association for the Education of Young Children, will be celebrating the Week of the Young Child, April 6th through the 12th, 2024. And whereas these organizations are working to improve early learning opportunities, which are crucial to the growth and development of young children, and building a foundation of learning for everyone in Navajo and Apache counties. And whereas all young children and their families in the state of Arizona and Navajo and Apache counties deserve access to high-quality early childhood education. And whereas public policies and programs that support early learning for all young children are critical to young children's futures and the success of our community. And whereas teachers and others who make a difference in the lives of young children and families in Navajo and Apache counties in Arizona deserve thanks and recognition. Now, therefore, I, for Stephanie Irwin, Mayor of the town of Pinetop-Lakeside, do hereby proclaim the week of April 6th through 12th, 2024, as the Week of the Young Child in Navajo and Apache counties, and encourage all community partners to work together to make good investments in early childhood health and development. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the town of Pinetop-Lakeside, Arizona, done at Town Hall this 4th day of April 2024.
Thank you, Councilor Krigbaum. Appreciate that, and I'm sure the children at Blue Ridge miss your husband as well.
Thank you.
That was quite a highlight of their lives, too. We'll move on then to item D3, which is a proclamation of National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Councilor Heisler.
Thank you, Mayor. National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services. And whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Emergency Communications Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio,
providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year. Now, therefore, I, Stephanie Irwin, Mayor of the Town of Pinetop-Lakeside, do hereby proclaim April 15th through 19th, 2024 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in the Town of Pinetop-Lakeside, Arizona. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the Town of Pinetop-Lakeside, Arizona, done at Town Hall this 4th day of April, 2024.
Thank you, Councilor Heiser. I appreciate that. Item D4 tonight, it's my pleasure to introduce our new CEO of Summit Healthcare, Jeff Comer, to kind of give us an update on what's going on with our hospital.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, City staff. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you tonight. Okay, back and forth. I can do that. I can do that. So again, I am excited to be here. It is an honor and a privilege to be the CEO of this great hospital. And I'm going to talk about three things tonight. A little bit about us. I'm going to go kind of quickly through that, our areas of focus, and then of course if there's any questions, I'm happy to entertain those. I'm going to start by telling you though what I want you to take with you tonight, and that is there are rumors in the community. I have heard them. I've been on the job for about 4.5 months now. I've heard the rumors that we're selling, we're closing, we're losing money. None of that is true. They are rumors, and we are doing very well. We have a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, and a lot of passion that our staff has, our doctors, and our board. So if you take anything from what I talk about tonight, please take that statement. Hospital's doing great, and we have a lot of positive energy behind what we're doing. So I'm going to jump into this now, and of course, if you have questions, please let me know. This, real quickly, we founded 50 years ago. We were originally 2 hospitals. We merged into the one Navapache Hospital. This is a picture of that hospital in 1970. And I'm going to jump forward real quick because 1970 when we started, and here's where we are today. Just remarkable change and growth that we've incurred. But we're also serving the surrounding areas, as you all know, and we're very proud to do that. And we are looking to expand into those areas, even to the degree of looking at a freestanding emergency department in Snowflake to complement our services here. We are having some capacity issues, meaning that we don't have enough beds, which is for a hospital administrator a great problem to have, but it is still a problem, so we need to free up some capacity, and I'll talk more about that in a second. But who we are, I don't know if you are aware, we are a 5-star quality hospital. That is one of 5 hospitals in Arizona that are 5-star. We are ranked by the Mayo Clinic, which we're proud to say. So very unusual for a rural hospital to have a ranking like that. We provide care for a huge area, as you're well aware, 100,000 plus population in the summer, up to 120,000. We do have 1,300 employees. We have a $100 million salary budget every year. So we are the largest employer, and the employees, although many of them would probably not agree with me, but they are very well compensated when you look at the comparison to other businesses and industries. So they do contribute tremendous amount to the community. So we're very proud of that. We have almost 400 providers, being physicians and nurse practitioners, physician assistants, and we are heavily recruiting additional physicians. I'll come back to that in one moment. In case you're unaware of this, we are the only rural hospital in Arizona providing obstetrics, pediatrics, and nursery services. And it's really tragic nationwide. Hospitals are losing these services. They can't afford them. It's very difficult to have the volume to keep your clinical skills up. We are able to do those things, and we're going to continue to provide those services. I know there are rumors that we're closing OB. I don't know where these come from, but they are not true. We are going to continue OB. We're 3.5 hours away from Phoenix hospitals, so it's a very desperately needed service. We're very proud to offer that. In fact, we have actually just signed a contract, or at least I should say we have a verbal commitment for a contract from a new OBGYN who will be starting this summer. So again, we're trying to expand that service further. Our total community benefit is $52 million. That is basically the free care, the charity care that we provide. There have been some articles recently that nonprofits are not providing their share of benefit to offset the taxes that they do not pay. That is not our case. We are providing a tremendous community benefit. We take everybody regardless of pay, and we will always continue to do that. Just some numbers for you, though. I thought these were kind of interesting, even for me. ER visits, we have 31,000 visits this last year to our emergency room. Outpatient visits, 84,000. Almost 8,000 surgeries, and I've actually got 5 or 6 surgeons I'm recruiting right now, so these numbers are going to go up quite a bit. Cardiac casts, 4,000. Imaging procedures, over 100,000, and I know scheduling can be a bit of a challenge getting into those procedures. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but we are doing an awful lot. And then almost 800 births that we are delivering. Of the 800 births, about 100 of those are truly level 2 nursery babies that would have had to go to Phoenix that we're able to keep here in our level 2 nursery. So we're very proud of some of those numbers. I won't go through all of these, but these are all the physician specialties that we have right now. I've been a hospital CEO for about 20 plus years, and I truly have never seen a rural hospital with this many specialists. Medical oncology, reconstructive surgery, some of these other ones, they're really not the norm at a hospital this size. So again, very, very proud to offer these specialties, and I keep saying I'm going to talk about growth. I will in one moment. So our vision is to be the healthcare system of choice, and I've actually added a second piece, which is in the yellow, and to remain independent. I want to reiterate, we are not being sold, we're not merging with a Banner or a Dignity or anyone. We are your independent community hospital, and we intend to stay that way. Our mission, trust to deliver exceptional, compassionate care close to home. I kind of kid with our employees at times at some of my other facilities. The mission statement is just a statement on the wall. It's a plaque you walk by and you kind of look at it and shake your head. This one really strikes me. We are your community hospital. You trust us to take care of you with the exceptional high quality care. We are 5 stars, I mentioned, so we are delivering that high quality care. We are compassionate. We try to always remember that. I'm a psychologist. Sometimes it's hard to deal with your patients. You kind of have this arm's length relationship to kind of protect yourself. Our staff do not do that. Staff is part of the community. They live here. Their family is here. We take care of our family. So we do have that compassion. It's not a number that we look at as a patient. It's truly someone that's in our family. So that compassionate care is really important. Close to home, again, to reiterate, staying independent. We're not sending people down to Phoenix to the other big systems. We're going to provide the services that we can here. I was asked to talk about me. I will be very brief. It's not that exciting, and I don't want to put anybody to sleep. You have more agenda items after me. I've been a CEO, as I mentioned, for 20 years. My father was the CEO of Flagstaff Medical Center when I was growing up, so Flagstaff was home to me. I was in Texas most recently with my wife, Mariah, who is sitting here and not heckling me, so I'm very glad about that. We were in Texas, very happy there, and when I heard about the opening of this job, I didn't hesitate. I just jumped at it. It was kind of my dream position to come back home and be part of an independent hospital. So our plan is to be here until I retire, which is probably 10 to 15, 20 years down the road. We are adopting a little baby girl from Taiwan. We want her to go to high school here and to be part of the community. So you've had a lot of transition in CEOs at the hospital, and I understand that. And that always, creates a lot of change and kind of organizational turmoil. We are committed to you for the long haul and want to be part of the community. So very excited about that. So that's just a little bit about me. Again, I told you it's not that exciting. So I'm going to get into some more fun stuff here, and this will just take about 5 minutes, and I'll stay within my time limits. We have 4 strategic areas of focus: growth, engagement, finances, and quality. They are all equally weighted. One is not important than the other. I would say if I had to really pick something I'm focused on, it is the growth. 99% of my job is to grow and expand our services. The quality is very important too. Really what we're trying to do there is just maintain our quality. With the 5-star, we're really doing a great job there. So we have a lot of strategies and tactics we're doing. Financial management, every hospital in the nation is challenged financially. We're doing okay. We were positive last year, and we are projecting increases this year. So that's not one of the things keeping me up at night. We're doing okay financially. Of course, you can always do better as a hospital, but we're where we need to be. Finally, though, the engagement. That is really important to me. I understand with COVID and transition in CEOs, we have not been as involved in the community. Being here tonight is just one way that I'm trying to. And I say we, all of the staff, the doctors, my wife even, we are going to as many community events as we can. We're participating. We want to be active, and I'm even looking at becoming a volunteer with the police department. So we're trying to do everything that we can to get the hospital back into the community, supporting everything, supporting the Chamber of Commerce that's starting up in Pinetop-Lakeside. So that is a very important part of our strategy, is to get the community to trust what we're doing, part of our mission, and see that we are equally active in the community with you all. So I'm going to highlight a couple of these. I've talked a lot about the growth, and I won't spend too much time going through this, but the recruitment of physicians is really important to me. General surgery, we have 3 new general surgeons we're talking to. 2 of them have contracts that we've offered. We expect them to sign those contracts. That will give us 5 general surgeons in the community, which is exactly what we need based on our population statistics. Mentioned the new OBGYN. Again, he has not signed, but he verbally agreed to the contract today, so we expect that signature hopefully tomorrow even, so we'll have a new OB doc here. Ear, nose, and throat. We have a new ENT that we're talking to. He is in training right now, so he would come out in 2025, so about a year away. Amazing training, though. He does a lot of really heavy neck procedures, thyroids, cancers, and so that's a very much needed service here in the community, so we do expect to get him. Electrophysiology is one I'm really excited about. That is pacemakers. Nobody is doing that in this area right now. We have a doctor, Dr. Bashai, who is going to be joining us up here, renting space. He'll be bringing his skills and services, and starting out hopefully June or July, we'll have him on board, so that'll complement our cardiology service line. Radiation oncology, we've just offered a contract to a radiation oncologist who we expect to sign and join us. Super doc, and one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Those of you that have experienced radiation oncology, those docs usually are not the best bedside manners. This one is very different. He's very easy to talk to, and just a true gentleman, so we're looking forward to that. I won't go through all these, but pulmonology, urology, emergency medicine, we are also recruiting those. We have 2 urologists who will be starting with us this summer, so again, a lot of recruitment. But equally exciting is the service expansion. We have a spine surgeon who I've worked with for a couple years who will be joining us and doing orthopedic spine back work here. Right now, everybody with that condition has to go to Flagstaff or down to Phoenix, so that is an important service that is needed. Cardiology, we're expanding that. Interventional radiology, we'll be starting that this summer. I mentioned the freestanding ED, perhaps in Snowflake. We're looking at some pro formas on that. Telehealth grant, we just got a almost $700,000 telehealth grant. It's 28 of the big, kind of huge telehealth monitors. Those will be going in the school systems, into the jails, onto the reservation, and that will connect those people directly with our physicians and our clinicians at the hospital. So that's a real exciting one. Finally, behavioral health. You all are certainly aware that is a crisis nationwide. We do have a geriatric psychiatry unit at the hospital on the 5th floor. And I say geriatric, it's 55 and above. I'm almost 55. I don't like to call it geriatric because I don't feel I'm geriatric yet, but it is for older, more mature people, maybe we should say. We are looking at adult, we are looking at adolescent, we're looking at outpatient, substance use, anything having to do with behavioral health, we are looking at trying to figure out how we can meet that need, which is huge everywhere. Final, just a couple more things. Scheduling processes. I know I've heard repeatedly from folks that we have trouble getting appointments with cardiology or with imaging services. We have completely redone scheduling. You should not have those problems anymore. If you do, please everyone call me because I want to know about it. But that scheduling is a completely new process. We're even adding online scheduling and kind of getting with the technological times too. So a lot of things we're doing along that area. The next 2 I probably don't have time to go over too much, but the medical tourism. With spine surgery and orthopedics, we're trying to get Canadian patients to come down to our facility. I know that sounds maybe counterintuitive, but the Canadian healthcare system is a single-payer system, and there's certainly strengths of that and weaknesses. One of the weaknesses is that it takes 12 to 18 months to get in for orthopedic surgery or spine surgery. So if you are having terrible pain, we can fix that the next day, but in Canada, you're waiting 18 months. So there are a lot of Canadians that want to come down to the United States. They pay cash rates. It's not even insurance. And this is not the super wealthy. This is every income bracket. They just want to get their pain fixed. So I've done this before in other hospitals, and with these docs that we have here, we are looking to work with Canadians to bring them down here and use our services. So while they're here, they're also, going to eat. They're, spending money in hotels, coffee shops. So it does contribute to our community in addition to the hospitals. So that's something we're very excited about. The next slide, this is a really busy one. I cannot go through all of this, but really quickly, I know my time is almost up. This is what I call the triad model of healthcare, and this is where I see healthcare going nationwide in kind of the future direction. I want to make sure that we're staying cutting edge with where healthcare is going, so we're ready for it. So this acute hospital care at home concept, I am so excited about this. I have set these programs up before. What this is you are at our hospital. You have been admitted as an inpatient, but you're lower acuity, so you don't need ICU services. You don't need surgical procedures. You don't need a lot of complicated imaging procedures. You might have pneumonia. You might have CHF. You might have, again, kind of lower level acute conditions. You are an inpatient, though. You don't have to be in the hospital. Medicare has created a waiver to where we can admit you as an inpatient, provide your care in your home. So there are some rules to this. We send a nurse to your home twice a day, morning and night. They bring your medications, they check your vitals. We have a physician that sees you once a day. Now that could be a telehealth, that technology I mentioned earlier. They can still see you, they're looking at your vitals, they've got your charts. So we're managing the care at your home. It is, from a hospital perspective, we are still reimbursed the same way. Medicare gives us the same rates, but the outcomes are phenomenal on this. The cost of care goes down, patient satisfaction goes up dramatically, outcomes improve, length of stay drops, there's zero risk for hospital-acquired infections. There's really, I can't think of anything bad about this program. It's a very successful program. There are 600 hospitals nationwide doing that, and we are going to be moving down that path. I'm hoping within the next 6 months we'll have that program up and running. I won't go through too much of these other, but the metaverse is kind of the fancy way of saying combining all of the technology we have in the hospital, using the internet, artificial intelligence, all these different things, the electronic medical record that we have, and combining it into one kind of super technology. That is a very important concept for us, and the reason for that, what we want to do, and it ties into this value-based care concept, we want to identify your illnesses and sickness before it shows up as a disease. Most diseases are preventable. Now, there's some genetic component, obviously, but even with the genetic components, when we can identify that you're at risk for diabetes or high blood pressure, we can find that out and then we can treat you before you need hospital care. The goal is actually to keep you out of the hospital. That ties into the value-based care concept. I don't know if you've heard of that before, but that is a different financing mechanism. Healthcare has always been financed based on fee-for-service, meaning that you present to the hospital, you have something wrong, we fix it, we charge you for it. Value-based care is avoiding that. We're preventing the sickness before you get sick, so we're actually paid to keep you healthy. It flips our model of reimbursement 180 degrees, and it probably doesn't sound that dramatic to you all, but it is to us. When you combine that with the metaverse, the acute hospital care at home, and the value-based care concept, it's what I call the triad that brings kind of a new model of healthcare together. So I could speak for hours on that, and I promise I will not. So I just want to give you an update of kind of where we're going with this. Finally, real quickly, the community engagement piece is really important, and these are just some examples of some of the things we're doing to try to get back in the community. It's my involvement, it's my wife's involvement, it's the staffs, the doctors, everybody. We really want to be a partner with you guys in the community and make sure that we are supporting you. So that's what I've got for today. I'm happy. I don't know if this is appropriate. If you want to ask questions, I'm happy to. Whatever I can answer, I would certainly like to.
Thank you. That was a lot of information. I do once again welcome you and your wife to our community. We're glad to have you here. Council, do you have any questions or comments for Jeff? Vice Mayor.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate you being here.
Sure.
Just one question. Up until a couple of years ago, we had an urgent care facility here in Pinetop, and I know that was closed because there were issues with the building mainly.
Yep.
Has there been any thought to putting in an urgent care back?
There absolutely is thought to that. We are looking at doing that. We absolutely looking at doing that. We've got to find the location, and then we got to do the recruitment and all that, but we are definitely talking about that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Anything else? From you? Okay. Well, thank you again
Thank you, Mayor.
for being here. We sure appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you around town
Sounds great. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
or on the trails.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we're going to move on then to item D5, which is consideration of resolution number 24-1705, approving funding for FY 23-24 chip seal and road striping. Matt.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. First off, I just would like to say that we had a very successful chip seal program last year, and it was our first year, and I'm thankful for all the staff that we have and the ability for them to be able to produce a quality product for our community. So far, we've seen tremendous results from that. The area that was chip sealed is holding up very well, and I think this is going to be the right fit going forward for the next 6 years. Or we have this year and then 4 more years, and then we'll have completed the full town cycle. So with that being said, we're kind of using the same process that we did last year. Is we're using cooperative agreements to move forward, and a JOC to procure this large pavement preservation for our community. Right now, the total amount for this year's is going to be $395,449.46. Sounds like a lot of money, but when you start talking about the amount of square yards that we're completing, we're doing 106 square yards, which is a significant part of our town. Like we said, if we do this every year, we'll be done with the entire town in 6 years, so that's pretty impressive. This year, we're also adding in Arizona lines. That will be striping all of the roads, which we normally do anyways. Well, we threw that in with this contract because some of the roads that we're completing this year will have striping needs, such as Lockwood needs to have striping needs. So. That being said, I don't think I need to bore you with all the little details I put in the description. There is one little issue. The map shows a few roads that have been removed, Eagle Loop being one of them, and another loop on Mary and Rose has been removed. It has fallen into the failed category and will need to be repaved. So there's no point in wasting money on those roads at this point. We have got Mary and Rose on our list, and we're getting it surveyed right now, working on trying to get it a design completed so we can repave that.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Any questions, comments, or anything? Councilor Krigbaum.
How does the amount that you're going to do this year compare to how much you did last year? Seems like you did quite a bit.
We did a lot. It's about the same. Obviously, what we've done is we've broke down the town into comparable sizes, so that we could financially afford it over 6 years is the intentions. So,
And I have another question. Last year, I noticed that it was our crews who did the work. Is that going to be the same thing here?
yeah, we are blessed to have the
Amazing.
staff and skill level that we need to complete this. I don't think that the community nor ourselves realize what a blessing that is, because when you add up the money at the end of the day that this would cost, we couldn't afford this without the crew that we have and the equipment that we have. So, I mean, hats off to you guys, and thank you for supporting our department, and this is truly a great project for the community.
Okay, thank you. Anything else for Matt? A motion? Vice Mayor?
I move to adopt resolution number 24-1705, approving funding for fiscal year 23-24 chip seal utilizing Pinal County contract number 234128 TOQ state rental contract CTR 066395 town purchase policy for additional equipment rental and basalt chips and utilizing Navajo County pavement markings contract number D22-06-028 for striping town roads, and authorize the town manager to execute all documents necessary to complete the transaction.
A second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Thank you. That carries unanimously. Thank you, Matt. We appreciate everybody's hard work, and that'll be the week of the Balloon Festival, right?
It's the week before. We will make sure to be done before the Balloon Festival. So, thank you.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, we are going to move on then to item D6, which is a public hearing, discussion, and consider legal action to approve a replat of the Woodland Pines Condominiums, recorded in Book 28 of Plats plats, pages 15 through 17, as the 6.38 acre Woodland Pines Townhouses subdivision. Jeremiah.
Good evening, Mayor Irwin, Vice Mayor Buse, and members of the council. This is an older subdivision, and what I mean by older is it was initially platted as a condominium subdivision in 2007. Due to a series of unfortunate events, it was never fully completed. There was deficiencies in the drainage that I noted, and also looking back through notes from prior town engineers, and there was a paper trail that showed that that was never completed, and I looked on site and verified that that was never completed. One thing that did change was Darkham LLC picked this up in 2022, and they completed the long incomplete fourplex on the northeast corner that was a favorite hangout of vandals in the community. So that was definitely a benefit. And so they brought this forward. They said, well, we're having problems financing. It had to do with the vertical versus horizontal ownership in the name. So really, the only thing that's changing between condominiums and townhomes is just that on the plat. None of the property sizes are changing. They have agreed and provided a bond in the amount of $72,000 to confirm that the drainage improvements will be installed that were never completed. So that these are all good things coming forward, and I'll like to bring forward Darcy and his lawyer, Mr. Nathan Fitch, to answer any other questions you may have.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
I'm Darcy Myers.
And I'm Nathan Finch with the Cross Law Firm.
Okay, well, thank you for being here tonight. Does anybody have questions? So you've got that fourplex on the back that's completed, ready to sell.
Yep.
I actually live on Navajo, so I've been watching the progress, and I'm glad to see something going on there.
Right.
So you're going to go ahead. My understanding was you had a permit for another unit at some point.
Yeah, we've got a 6-unit building that we're in the process of getting permits on, finalizing plans.
Good.
So as soon as that 4 gets on the market, get that thing going, we'll start on the next building.
Very good. Okay, any other questions, comments? Vice Mayor.
I just have a question. The large structure in the rear of that, what is going to happen with that one? Or is that
99% chance it gets demoed, and then we'll proceed from there. Yeah. It's not worth saving. So.
Huh. It's been sitting there for an awfully long time.
Yeah, and and water lines have broken, and so there's mold, and so there's not a whole lot that could save it. There's obviously, if we could, we will, but the goal is at this point is just to demo it.
all right? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Councilor Krigbaum?
Well, I just wasn't quite sure what the difference is between a townhouse and a condo.
Okay, yeah.
I've got that. So functionally, structurally, there is literally no difference.
Right.
In a condominium development, you own the air between the walls. In a townhome, you own the physical structure and the land beneath your house. So it's a type of ownership. It's not a different type of structure in this particular instance.
Yeah. So you
Thank you.
own above the ground versus from the ground. So.
Semantics.
Yeah, it's a lending thing. Lenders don't like condos, so they're much more complicated to finance than a single family townhome.
Okay.
So.
Thank you. Councilor Phillips?
Do you guys have plans to go ahead and finish developing the entire property with more townhomes?
Correct. Yes, it's platted out for 40 more units.
And what's your timeline on that, approximately?
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, about 24 months.
Okay, thank you.
Just to follow up on that, those will all be for sale, is that right? Or are you hanging on?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, they will all be for sale. The goal is to keep them priced kind of where they're at. That's probably some of the better prices in the town right now. So we're trying to keep them from going up too high with costs.
And what about common areas there?
There's a common area in the middle of there's kind of 2 pieces when you come in. There's Megan's Loop. There's 4 buildings there, and there'll be a common area in the middle with trees and a bench. We're We're going to throw some barbecues and stuff in there so people can kind of hang out. And then on the other side, there's not as much room to do that, so it'll be just kind of some greenage area with trees and whatnot. Yeah.
They show on the plat, Vice Mayor views, track D is all slated for open space, common area, and drainage.
Okay. I just know we have some developments in town that the common area has fallen through the cracks in the past
Yeah.
as far as ownership and things like that. So this one, obviously, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's kind of surrounded. You kind of have no choice but to maintain it and keep it there. The goal, honestly, was to keep it as simple as possible so that the HOA fees were low. Because that's one of the catches when you go from a single-family home in a community like that to a attached home is you now have community insurance, community roofing, and community maintenance. And so the more you do, the more fees you have. You throw a pool and a hot tub in there, and just with the gas bills and all that kind of stuff, I mean, your HOA fee could be $600 a month. I think we're around $110 a month. So that I'm aware of, there's not a condo townhome style product that's that cheap right now, and that's been forecasted out 20 years. So.
And will, at some point, I guess that'll be deeded to the HOA, is that right, the common area?
Yeah, I believe it already is, yeah, yep.
Good. Thank you.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, I appreciate it. This is a public hearing, so if there's any member of the public that would like to address this, now would be the time. Okay, seeing none, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Does anybody have any additional questions or comments on this?
No.
Jeremiah, do you have anything else to add?
I just think that, this project is set there for a long time, and what they're bringing to the table, just in the fact that they're going to complete the drainage improvements, is a big step in the right direction. So, and, seeing it go from a vandal's playground to something that's a livable space is definitely a bonus as well.
Agreed, thank you. Thank you. I would entertain a motion then on this item. Councilor Heisler?
I move to approve the replat of the Woodland Pines Condominiums recorded in Book 28 of plats, pages 15 through 17, as the 6.38 acre Woodland Pine Townhomes subdivision.
I'll second that.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Thank you. That carries unanimously. Thank you for being here this evening. We look forward to continued progress on that property. Okay, we're going to move on then to item D7, which is a discussion and consideration of ordinance number 24-470, approving the de-annexation of 60.07 acres near the east side of Sholo Lake and South Penrod Road. Jeremiah.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. This item is brought to us courtesy of the City of Sholo and a developer that owns that property, 60 acres formerly owned by Phelps Dodge Corporation that constructed Sholo Lake up until 2021 when it went through a series of changes in ownership. So what we're looking at, you can see up here on the screen, is what they want to change. Basically, this is the beginning of a land swap with the City of Sholo. They would get the red 60 acres, and in exchange, we would get the blue 70 acres that's currently in the City of Sholo, of which 7 3/4 acres would be deeded directly to the town, much to Matt's benefit there, because we'll be able to potentially move some of the services for Public Works and the recycling center over there. The remainder of that 70 acres is out in U.S. Forest Service. So that's kind of what is really driving this tonight. You only see a piece of that, but in the background, you'll see more coming forward, and for the benefit of the public that may not be aware. So yeah, when we look at it on the surface, why do they want to do this? Well, they want to be under one development code with the City of Sholo, and the City of Sholo has water and sewer utilities that they can bring over there via an extension off of Scotts Ratch Road, and that's really to benefit of us and the City of Sholo. Looking outside of these imaginary lines, it benefits the community because it's going to open up this corridor for development in the future, for commercial development. Hopefully something similar to what we had proposed in the the major amendment land use element from last year that you kind of saw a glimpse of. I think that there's nowhere else in the town where we have an opportunity to expand except in this area. So this is one of the key steps that we need to take to move forward in that direction.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Questions or comments for Jeremiah? Councillor Kriegbaum.
In the recommendation, it kind of bugs me when you have letters meaning something and then I don't know what they mean. It's the last line and it says, to access Scotts Ranch Road and the Southern CBD.
Central Business District.
Business District. Duh. Thank you.
Spell it out.
All right.
Anything else for Jeremiah? I think a number of us have walked this property, and I think the long-term benefit to our community is huge. And to get nearly 8 acres deeded to the town is going to definitely be a benefit to us. So if there's any further discussion, Vice Mayor?
I move to approve ordinance 24-470, authorizing the de-annexation of 60.07 plus or minus acres near the east side of Shoalo Lake and South Penrod Road with the following: APN 212-01-028.
I second that.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Thank you. That carries unanimously. Thank you, Jeremiah. And Matt, too. I know you had part in this one. Appreciate that. Okay, we'll move on then to item D8, which is Town Council Committee Liaisons and our Town Manager monthly reports. I'm going to start with Councilor Schnitzer tonight.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Well, tracks is, we just finished sharpening all our tools, and we start trail work on Monday out on the west side of town. The Nature Center has restarted. They had a very difficult to pass inspection by the United States Department of Agriculture. The USDA has just taken on this responsibility, and they are dotting every I and crossing every T out of caution. And the Nature Center passed that exam, and so they are now open. We have shows back to our schedule of every day at 3 o'clock.
Monday.
Pardon?
Not on Monday.
Oh, not on, you're right. Not on, we just changed that. But so check for hours. But anyway, the bird show will be back up and running and is back up and running, so we're happy for that. And then let's see, we will be coming up on our 20th anniversary for the Nature Center, so please stay tuned. We have all kinds of things, but just to remind everybody, 20 years ago we had a borrowed tent and a 10 by 10 foot tent that was borrowed, and in a field that was borrowed. And now we have a 15-acre site and a tremendous amount of community support, for which we are very, very grateful. And then the last thing is the irrigation district and the Rainbow Lake Coalition. The irrigation district has succeeded in getting a grant for about $340,000 to do some much needed repairs on the irrigation ditch. And this will especially be along Lake of the Woods. If you look over there now, you can see the irrigation ditch just constantly waste water. It just spills over the side, and there's an ocean of cattails there because there's always water there. So they hope to put that inside a large pipe and stop all the losses and do a better job of serving their customers. So that's real progress. And in the past, I've been critical of the irrigation district for not really working with the community, but that has changed. They're leaning over backwards to try and work out things that are good for everybody, and so I'm really pleased to see that. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilor Schnitzer. Councilor Smith?
Yes, the Transit Advisory Council had one issue in Pinetop. So it was near the Love Kitchen bus stop. And so we have met with the owners of Charlie Clark's, along with the commander and the police chief, to try to get some direction as to how to solve their concerns. And I think we're headed in the right direction now, because they gave us a list of, I don't know, 15 or something incidents And Chief Barnes said, well, did you call any of these in? And they said no. So I think if we can get that turned around where they're starting to call those in, and the police are now getting more involved with that, we'll probably solve the problem. So everybody pretty much is on the right track here, I think. I don't have anything for the community center right now. The Arizona Alpine Trail, we did just have a really interesting meeting with ADOT because we cross the highways a lot and we are on some of the highways a lot. So we met with Carl Erickson of the Northeast, he's Northeast District, Assistant District Engineer, and talked about all of the things that we could do in cooperation with ADOT, and they seem to be pretty cooperative. For one thing, they're going to give us a map of all the highways that shows the culverts that are underneath the highways and where they're located, so we can tie those in to our trail and keep people off of the highway. So things like that are very encouraging. So that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
All I have for tonight, Blue Ridge graduation will be high school graduation will be May 17th at 7 o'clock. And I don't have anything else to report tonight.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Heisler?
Madam Mayor, I don't have anything to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Phillips?
I recently attended the meeting for the Humane Society of White Mountains. They wanted to thank Jeremiah for his assistance with the facade grant. They're making that work for them and getting some painting done and some signage. They're in the process of upgrading some cameras because they've had some issues with people just dropping animals and tying them to the gate in front of the place and leaving them there. So they're trying to get some cameras upgraded so they can possibly try and ID these people. And they said if they can ID them, they're going to prosecute them. So they had their Arizona Gives fundraiser, and I talked to Mark tonight, and they met their goal of $30,000 in donations. Wow. And they actually came out #1 for receiving donations in small rural areas, and because of that, meeting that goal, they'll probably get several $1,000s extra, I guess, from the state provides them. So they're really happy about that. And that's about it.
Okay, thank you. That's really good news. Councilor Kriegbaum?
Thank you. I went to a really interesting meeting with Chief Morgan of our Pinetop Fire, thanks to our police chief Barnes. He had mentioned it at a meeting, and I said, I think I would like to go to that. And what they're doing is called the Community Wildfire Protection Plan. And this was, they had a simulated fire, and then what happens, and it was someone driving from Globe to Show Low, and when they went through Forestdale, they saw smoke, and that was the beginning of the fire. And then this whole activity goes on, and you could just see that happening right here. I mean, it really seemed so real. So I had just read this book called Fire Weather, and so I recommended it for Chief Morgan. He was getting it, and then I got ask Betsy at our library if she would order copies for people. So I really highly recommend this. We're going into fire season. It's not if, it's when, and it's going to happen. We need to be ready. And so this book is about a fire that happened just a couple years ago, and Chief Morgan actually uses this when he talks to FireWise people about how we get out and what it's like to have a fire that you have to evacuate. This fire, they never even called an evacuation, and the people are dry. It's 80,000 people live in this town, and it's very isolated, but it's a very busy community. It's mining for bitumen, which is road material, I guess. And anyway, the whole area is so much like here with ponderosa pine. And so the people are in various parts of this town. So there are 80,000 people who have to get out, and they have no real plan, really. And nobody actually called an evacuation. So I could imagine, as I was reading it, driving on White Mountain Boulevard with embers coming at me on my windshield and little fires starting all over the town. It could happen. I mean, it's really when, not if. And so I'm interested in, this is part of the Forest Health, which hasn't met really, but we're all certainly aware of it. And so I will continue to follow up on this wildfire protection plan that's being promulgated now in our town. Thanks to the professionals who know what they're doing and who know how to do this. And I was so impressed with that. But the thing that scares me is what happens about all of us, just regular people. We're going to have to get out. And how do we do that? So that plan is being worked out, and we have 30 fire-wise areas in our immediate area, which is a really good thing. So each one of those areas has what they call an ambassador. That would be the contact person. So that person is really going to spread the word right in their fire-wise area and help us all. So I was really encouraged by all of this. It was a good experience. And thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Councilor Craigbaum. That's all good information for all of us. I do have a few things to report tonight. The Sheriff's Posse, the White Mountain Sheriff's Posse, is going to be holding their 52nd annual mail run, and they're leaving the Lakeside Post Office on April the 24th at 8 o'clock in the morning. They really want our support, so any council members, community members that would like to go there, they're leaving the Lakeside Post Office. They'll swear in the riders about 8 o'clock in the morning, and they're riding to Tonto Basin this year. So that's an upcoming fun event. The Tillman Honor Run is this Saturday. It starts officially at 9:42 at Woodland Lake Park. It's 4.2 miles, 4 laps around the lake. So that'll be a nice event. And then I was approached by Mike Moffenbauer, the new president of the interim president, I guess, of our newly reformed chamber, and he invited me to attend their board meetings as a liaison from the town to the chamber. So I was very honored to be able to do that. They've really got a lot of nice activities planned. They had their general meeting this past Tuesday evening. Chris Pastors with the Real AZ spoke. They had a mixer, so it was a great event. I believe in May, Tony's going to be speaking. So their events are now members only, but they have plenty of room for new members. So please keep that in mind. It will be the first Tuesday of the month. For right now, they're meeting at the Green Tree, although they're kind of bursting at the seams, which is a good problem to have. So I appreciate all the work that Mike and his team are doing on that. So thank you, Mike. Keith, I'll turn it over to you.
Yes, Madam Mayor and Vice Mayor and Council. First, I'd like to thank everybody, especially on the council too, that was able to come down and help on Saturday with the Easter event. As you know, the month of March, at my house, my rain gauges showed almost 6 inches of rain. And so they kept having to move the location for this event. Normally it's out on one of the ball fields, and it was just too wet. Parking lots were wet, and the grass and everything else was just too wet. So we held it here in the council chambers. It was a great event. I appreciate Tony, Annie, and Rob and their work in putting this together. And the VIPs were here, and they were getting blasted out in the wind, out in the parking lot, helping to manage the traffic. But it was very well received, a lot of happy faces. If you saw any kids with a big golden egg, they were the biggest smiles in the crowd. So everybody had fun. As you mentioned, the Tillman Honor Run is Saturday at Woodland Lake Park. We have 69 entrants this year. It's the third highest total in the 7 years we've had this event. It's the highest since COVID. We're expecting cold temperatures, 5 inches of snow that morning. So that's the prediction right now. So it's going to be, the Public Works is going to try and get the path plowed real quick and before everybody gets there. So I think bundle up, come out, have a good time, support a really worthy cause, the Pat Tillman Foundation. This coming Tuesday, April 9th, is our next Coffee with Council at the Pinetop Coffee House from 11 to 1 p.m. Mayor Irwin and Councilor Heisler will be there to answer questions from the public and our citizens. Just a reminder that on Monday, the town code changes to prohibit domestic animals from the town-owned athletic fields, and within 10 feet of town-owned playground equipment will come into effect. We've started to get the word out, and so far the public seems to agree with the decision. So you'll see it on our town Facebook page, and very nice that the public, for the most part, I think they understand where this is coming from. Our next lunch service at the White Mountain Community Center is Thursday, April 18th. Gives the council and staff a chance to mingle with our senior citizens and to be able to serve them. So I appreciate everybody's effort on that, and Tony heads that one up. Thank you, Tony. Super Crew is May the 18th. So, no, 11th, right? 11th. Wait, no, 18th, yeah. So it's 30 miles or less, whatever you want to do. We have 11 from the town that are going to be participating as a team, and he's even designed us a shirt. So you want a shirt? Tell Tony now. We'll get one ordered for you. Let's up that number from 11. And then, since Councilor Krigbaum was talking about Firewise and the Community Wildfire Protection Plan, there's going to be on May the 11th Taylor Snowflake Emergency Preparedness Fair. It'll be at the rodeo grounds. It goes from 9 o'clock to, I think, 3 o'clock. So it's most of the day. Free pancakes. There's 50 booths. Timber Mesa is going to be there with a booth. I'm going to have a booth promoting family emergency communication plans, 72-hour kit information, and if nobody else is handing out Firewise information, I'll have that at my booth also. So there's a lot of information that will be given and disseminated. A lot of different agencies. Navajo County will be doing the Ready, Set, Go program, and some other things. Game and Fish will be there. Trying to remember what other agencies, but there's going to be a lot of information. So if you're interested, I'll be getting information to Tony. We'll be posting on our Facebook page to help to get the word out on that preparedness fair. So that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you, Keith. I do have a couple things to mention that I forgot all about. Blue Ridge Scholarship 40th Annual Golf Tournament is May 4th at White Mountain Country Club. We would like to thank our sponsors, Summit Healthcare, Karen Rubin State Farm, and White Mountain Country Club. So we still have opportunities for golfers and sponsors and raffle prizes. On May 11th, we are bringing back a very popular event, which is Taste of the Mountain. There will be about 15 local restaurants. It will be held at Camp Grace. And all those restaurants will have a sampling of their menu, and you can go around and collect that and have a really nice day. Those tickets will be available on the Blue Ridge Scholarship Fund website. And all that money goes to fund scholarships for our Blue Ridge graduates. So those, I think there's plenty going on coming into our busy season. So we'll move on then to item D9 on our agenda tonight. Pursuant to ARS 38.431.03A3 and A4, the council may vote to enter into executive session. Upon a public majority vote of the members constituting a quorum, a public body may hold an executive session for the following purpose. A3, discussion or consultation for legal advice with and to give direction to the attorney or attorneys of the public body. And A4, discussion or consultation with the attorneys of the public body in order to consider its position and instruct its attorneys regarding the public body's position regarding contracts that are the subject of negotiations, in pending or contemplated litigation, or in settlement discussions conducted in order to avoid or resolve litigation. Tonight, we are going to have a consultation with and give direction to the town's litigation counsel regarding claims asserted by Mr. James Chappelle. So I would entertain a vote to enter executive session. Vice Mayor?
I move to enter into executive session.
Second?
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Thank you. That carries unanimously. We will enter into executive session. No action will be taken when we return. So thank you.